How to sell from stage. I remember when I was congratulated by high school teachers because they could finally hear me. I was extremely shy, or I don't know, confidence or whatever, but I actually had a fear of adults and had to go do a lot of therapy for it. Compare that to now, I've made millions of dollars from stage, and in this video, I'm gonna teach you how I do it. Let's dive in. Very first time I ever pitched on stage, I actually made 12 grand, and it was at this little tiny hotel room. I think there was maybe 20 people in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think 6 people bought a $2,000 thing. And it was the first time I ever made money like that, and it blew my mind, honestly. I remember I stayed up the entire night, almost literally, I think I slept 40 minutes because I was so nervous about this pitch. I had never done it before. And I'm grateful that that's how I got kind of my training wheels with stage speaking and stage pitching. And I made, I think, that 12 grand. And then compared to now, like that would be a really bad event if that's all we made. And that's not to like pat ourselves on the back, on the shoulders, but I did do $1 million in a day in 2019. And I'm gonna teach you more about how we do that in the video. You have to understand that events are a science. It is its own career. It is not just like, hey, let's put a stage together and just go start talking. So let me break down how we actually do events. I'm even gonna show you our room layout and the board behind me. What's up? I'm about to show you how I lay out the actual room. It matters more than you think, but before I do that, please subscribe. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. It's red, it's a rectangle. It's very easy and free for you to click, but means a lot for us. We do a lot to put these videos out. Also hit the like button, hit the bell. We'll toss these videos out. We put a video out just about every single day. And then in the comments below, I'd love to know what the coolest parts of live events are for you. I'm sure we all miss them, but I want to start doing more of them. Now, first off, I need you to reframe what events are even meant for. Your event is not to create speeches, and your event is not to just deliver content. The purpose of the event is to sell. Everything is about sales, okay? So this is how I do this. Before I even really think about the name of the event, I first wanna know what I'm trying to sell. If you don't do this, you're probably not gonna make any money. Just the reality. So what I do is I first think, okay, here's the product that I wanna go sell. And I like, all right, this is where we need to design everything around. What I actually do with my team is we start to be the best heckler that you can imagine. Be the best heckler on planet Earth. And we start to figure out what all the things would be that someone would make fun of around this offer, right? Why are all the reasons somebody would not purchase this? What are all of them? And we come up with a huge list. This is actually how I design my event. This is where I start. It's not about venue, it's not about any of that stuff. What I first do is I figure out what I'm gonna sell and then a whole bunch of reasons why someone would not wanna buy it. This is the target I'm trying to take down, okay? That right there, it's those objections. Okay, so what I do now is I think through how I'm actually gonna create a webinar script that will sell that. And yes, I said webinar script. Did you know the webinar script actually came from stage selling? It did not come from the internet. The webinar formula is very, very specific and is very, very key, and it takes time. Just be aware that when you start developing a webinar script, which is the stage selling script, the webinar script is the stage selling script. You're actually using the original stage selling scripts from all the greats. It wasn't created on the internet. Okay, so just understand that. So I use the webinar script or stage selling script to sell my thing, and I start working backwards. Now, plan on this taking time. When you start building a script, it's gonna take time. I usually take 2 to 3 weeks to develop all my content. I'll take another 1 to 2 weeks of that will just be the script. That should give you some context on how much time I spend researching, putting my script together. I work my face off when I'm writing a good script. Okay, so I'm telling you that because there's been many times where I've waited till the night before and I bomb. This takes time, and I'm not new. Okay, it takes time. It takes time to write a good script with it. Now, this is how I actually start to structure the event though. I'm like, you know what? Okay, pay attention to this. This is key, and I know it's one of the reasons we did $1 million in a day, and we almost did the next time too. Okay, check this out. You know what? This webinar, my script, my event is gonna take down that one, and that one, and that one, but that's it. What do I do with all these other objections? What do I do with them? Guys, that is what I ask guest speakers to speak on. They don't get to choose their topics. I choose it for them. Okay, that is what I develop my stage speeches around. Everything is designed to destroy those objections and lead everybody to the sale. That is the purpose of your event. It is not about you saying pretty things or even having pretty slides. There's a really interesting thing about the layout of your event. I want to go into the second part of this here. The interesting lesson is that if you want to make more money, have a longer event. fascinating metric. So I used to do 2-day events, way too short. It's not enough time for me to teach like crazy and pitch. Okay, in fact, some of I've hired coaches about events, and none of them will do an event that's shorter than 3 days. Okay, and here's why. Here's how we kind of lay this out. And please understand, this is a big topic. All right, this is huge. I am not giving you a crash. This is a very, very brief crash course on YouTube about events here. Okay, this is its own science, its own profession. But here's how we do it. Day number one, the theme of day number one is for me literally just to blow minds. I want to over deliver. I want them to feel, holy crap, if that is all I got and I skipped the last 2, I would have made money. Okay, I want them to feel that. I would have had an increase in my wallet's weight. I would have gotten everything I needed to, even though there's 2 more days. What this does is it gets people coming back. It's amazing to me that people show up to an event, pay all the money to get there, get the hotel, get the flight, and then not come day 2. So the way I do that is I blow the minds, okay? Blowing minds, day number 2, and that's on purpose as loudly as I possibly can. Day number 2 is the pitch day. I'm gonna do the pitch. That's the theme of the day. That's all I wanna do. Day number 3 is repitch or downsell. So I'm gonna repitch what I originally did, or I'm gonna do what we call a downsell. I have other YouTube videos on that topic, okay? So that's it. So here's how I kind of lay the days out though. About in the afternoon, right? So I always put about an hour to an hour and a half for lunch. If you have over 200 people in an event, if you have over 100 people in an event, you should do an hour and a half for lunch. If it's over 300 or 400, you really should do 2 hours for lunch, okay? So we do lunch. We have another lunch and lunch. I choose one night to go late. It always over delivers and they love it. I don't want to do that day 1 because I need them fresh for the pitch. Okay, this stuff matters. If it sounds petty, this is what we do. So usually day 2, I over deliver. Okay, so I go late into the evening. On day number 2, I'll go late into the evening. Day number 3, I usually am ending around 3, 4, or 5, and it's because some people start to get flights, and if I don't do that, a lot of people will try and get flights to leave immediately, and so my crowd thins out anyway. So you have to play to that, okay? All right, so I'll end usually anywhere from 3 to 5 at the latest. I'm very specific on this. This is its science. We've done, guys, I did 13 events in the last 3 years and spent about $900,000 putting them on. Okay, I study event structure a lot. I'm going to show you more of that as we move forward. Each morning, you should be the one that opens the day. Do not put another speaker on to represent you. You are the host. You are the person that they should see first. So it's you speaking, you. And you'll start to realize, like, 3-day event? That's a lot of time. You're going to see real quick, it's not that actually that very much time. Okay, you actually have to haul to get all the stuff in that you'd like to. So what I do is I usually go speak for, to lunch, which is usually around 12:30 or 1. Right, which means we're coming back at about 2 p.m. Right, same thing each day. I do my pitch afternoon of day 2. I re-pitch morning of day 3, and then guest speakers. All right, I'm just gonna put a G here. Guest speaker, guest speaker, guest speaker, guest speaker. I really only have time for like 4 guest speakers. That's about it. Each of my speeches are about 45 to 60 minutes, and I need a 15-minute brain break in between. Okay, that's very, very specific. And it's because if I go any harder or faster or longer, the first event I ever did that was a big event, it was me only for 2 straight days. I did not give them breaks. We went from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. both days. I burnt them. Okay, don't do that. You're a nerd. They're not. Remember that. All right, it was a big mistake I made at the beginning. Quickly, let me show you the room layout. Room layout is super key as well. None of it's by accident. You have to understand that if these are the doors, right, this is the way you exit the room, the back of the room. Let's say the stage is right here. If there are other doors on the side, we block them. It's not that you can't get out of them, okay? Don't lock people in a room. I did not say that. I'm saying we just put like a little stanchion in front of it, or we put like a little tiny ribbon in front of it. We want to direct traffic and flow traffic. And the reason is that before the event starts, about 30 minutes before the event, oh my gosh, we bump the music. We get music super, super loud. We pump smoke in there. I want this thing to feel like a freaking rock concert, all right? And what happens is about 30 minutes, when I choose to open the doors, there's a flood. Literally, I've had many people sprint to the seat because they want the front rows. All right, so we put all of our chairs all over the place. Chairs all over the place, obviously. And now since, pandemic and all this stuff, there's all these rules and laws about it. And I don't know what those are, but we put chairs all over the place. And this is really, really key. Okay, we open and close the doors every single break. So we have everyone leave during lunch, and we redo that again after lunch. We have everyone leave. Every single break, we have people come back in like that. We put the sales tables in front of, super key, super key. This is one of the ways you'll make extra money. You're welcome, by the way. Here we go. Okay. All right. We put the sales tables by the exits. And it's so that when I pitch, they get handed the pamphlet if they're on the way out. Easy, easy, easy. But you don't want anyone to walk out without having that pamphlet or having that offer thing inside of their hand. That room layout matters like crazy. We have swag on all of the chairs. We have what's called a throw mic. I'll ask a question and someone wants to answer it. I'll huck the mic throughout the room. It's energetic. I want this to feel like a rock concert, not a marketing thing. You see what I'm saying? And I do a lot of work and effort so that people get in an environment where marketing is a fun thing to learn because, oh my gosh, this is fun. That's why we spend so much money building a studio. Hey guys, final point here. Get an MC. Do not MC your own event. I can't believe how much more money I make whenever I get an MC. An MC's job is not to announce you on stage. That's just something they do. An MC's job is to be an energy controller of the room. So if energy starts to drop, they let people relax a little bit, but then they bring it back up. You know what happens if you don't have a good MC? It means that the speaker has to get on and get people engaged for the first 15 minutes before they can even get in their material. It sucks, okay? It's terrible. It's the worst thing. It's the reason why there's a structure and a science behind this. Here it is. Okay, MC is out there getting people excited, getting rallied, and they're like, please welcome to the stage, Steve Larsen. And then we have stinger music, we have spike, it's not to be this egotistical thing. What's happening is an authority transfer. They need to see it in front of their eyes, which is why we do this. Okay, you walk up, you do some kind of touching, hugging, kind of bro hug thing or whatever that is. And the reason is because there's this transfer of authority that happens. When you come up, you give the bro hug and you're like, hey, bro hug, in front of their eyes, they are witnessing the transfer of the authority, right? Think about this. How interesting is it that you can have 600 people in a room and everyone's listening to a single speaker? Even though I'm not saying like whoever's holding the stick gets to talk, but psychologically that is what's happening. And so in front of their eyes, they need to believe this is the person I have to go and speak and listen to now. It's really, really powerful and you make way more money when you do it. The MC becomes one of the big secret weapons to making more cash. Every little thing they're doing with the crowd while you're not on stage or a speaker's not on stage is actually teeing up a future purchase. One of the biggest hacks ever to the game. Just cough up the cash and get a good one. Hey, to experience everything I'm telling you about and everything, all the orchestration and the science behind this, go to offerlaunch.com. OfferLaunch gives you the option to come here in person with me and or stay virtual, whatever you feel comfortable with right now and everything that's going on in the world. Go to offerlaunch.com. The link is in the description, and it is my live event that I do every year to teach you how to launch your product successfully. Click the link in the description.